what would constitute a quote-unquote perfect day for you?
Do you remember that song that was in yes, yes. In Legally Blonde.
Yeah,
Every time
yeah.
someone says that, I'm like, nah. Honestly, I think a perfect day would just be a regular day that I have where I am consistently in a good mood and like most things are going my way. Because I've had days like that where I'm like, this has been a great day. Like, I woke
Hmm.
up, my energy level was okay, went to work, had a bunch of satisfying things that were resolved, went to the gym, did my thing, came back, watched TV with my partner. Like, I think like a regular day that just everything is very nice is kind of a perfect day for me. Like, I feel like most people be like, oh, I won the lottery and then like stumbled on a pot of gold. And, like that's like an impossible day, right? I'm talking about like what could be realistic. And I think what's realistic is a really nice normal day where everything kind of like goes my way.
I
Yeah.
love that answer because it makes it so that you can have perfect days. Not all the time, but like much
It's
more
possible.
frequently than
Yeah.
some made up, yeah,
Yeah.
fantastical day, yeah.
Yeah. And not that winning the lottery would not be amazing, but I think in the long run, it's like small things, simple things make me happy. And so having just a nice day would be relatively perfect for me.
Okay, if you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you? Oh, I see. Okay, that was confusing. I was like, you're gonna live to 150, or no, it's saying that when you hit 30, you will either, for the next 60 years till you die at 90, retain the mind or body of your current 30-year-old state.
I think I would pick the body. And hear me out. This is because I feel like a lot of the old fuddy-duddiness has to do with your body aging and you can't experience as much. But I feel like a lot of old people, they're still quite lucid. Like there's nothing wrong with their mental capabilities, but your physical capabilities are not there. So I think I would take the physical part of it because I think that at that particular age, I would still have enough mental faculty to do all of the things that I need to do. But I would prefer to be able to do all the things that I need to do with a 30-year-old body.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. I would actually do the opposite because I think I've seen enough people, not at 90, but like well past my parents' age, for example, that are actually like fairly ripped. It's like if you want to keep your body in like tip top shape,
That's
it will never
true.
be a 30-year-old's body, but it can be like decades younger than what the average age person for like an older person would be if you're like actually eating really healthy and like hitting the gym all the time versus like, for example, you can't prevent dementia or like
That's true.
Alzheimer's and that kind of stuff if your mind is going.
Well, I'm hedging a bet about this whole like whole body health situation where it's like if you have a healthy body, then you have a healthy mind and da 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 da.
If you could change anything about the way you were raised, wow, this is a loaded question. What would it be?
Money. Give me
Oh,
the
really?
money. No, no, no. It's hard to say because I think hindsight is 2020 and I'm very satisfied more or less with where I am. So to go back and say I want to change something means that that might move my life path away from where I am. But I would say probably the thing that I was most lacking as a kid, I would probably like say I would have loved it if my dad was more involved in my life and just like more forward with the relationship he wanted to pursue with me. And I think that that's just, it's a function of how he was raised, where my grandfather was not necessarily like the most connected. So I think that he had a lot of trouble fostering that relationship because he had no model, right? Like we talk a lot about like you can't be what you can't see. And so I think for him, there's a big challenge where he may not necessarily know how to build a relationship with me. And actually, my parents were just here like a week or so ago, and my mom was like, you should call your dad more. Like he asked about you a lot. But then he just asked me to call you and and talk to you
Aw.
about it. And I was like, he could call me. Like I'm trying to be more active in calling them like at least both of them like once a week and like ask them how they're doing and like what's new with their lives. Cause I think that it's a little bit of a struggle for him to kind of like do that. And I'm more or less shameless now, so I can do that.
What do you value most in a friendship? I have a vested interest in this answer.
Hmm. You know what is so funny is that sometimes I think of it backwards. So I think about the people that I met recently and why I don't want to be friends with them. And I personally feel like the thing that I value most about friendship is like a general openness. Because I'm thinking about the last few people where I like have kind of written them off. And the reason is because it feels like a lot of the energy that I'm giving out is not coming back. So they're like not open to receiving this energy. And of course, there are like other important things like trust, honesty, but those are like things that are like deep into your friendship. And I'm thinking about like what are the things that will drive you to a friendship. And I think openness is like really important. I feel like this is sometimes the way in the gay community because everything is so like body conscious and like sexually driven that some people are iced out because they don't look like they have muscles in a six pack or they don't look a certain clothing fashiony sense and stuff like that. But I think for me, what's most important is that someone is like really open because all those things are superficial to having your energy reflected back at you. And there's like nothing better than that because it's like that like instant connection that you have with a person.